today since we
Yeah.
pushed the show back a day.
Yeah, no kidding. The one time we have to push to Tuesday, nothing happens.
All right, mute that.
Let me make
Stream
sure.
looks good on my end.
It's not echoing, is it? Echo, echo. Whoa, whoa.
Oh, sounds good.
All right, good. Let me let everybody know we're here on Twitter and on Facebook and
I
in
got
the
a notification.
Discord.
Watch live now, Nerd Cave Retro, volume 378. I think I'll check it out.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody will be here tonight because it is not the normal night, but we'll see. Oh, there's Chuck.
Oh, Chuck. Chuck.
Chuck. All right. I got all my tabs open. Everything's ready to go. You ready to do this?
I reckon so.
Let's do it. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Greetings, programs, and we're a day late, but not a dollar short. My name is Jason Robbins.
And my name is Derek Diamond.
So it's been an interesting weekend. Had a little car trouble over the weekend, so I spent all evening yesterday getting a new car. So that's where I was. That's why we had no show yesterday.
It is important to have a car, though. I mean, you gotta get places. So
Yeah,
I mean, sometimes life happens. So it's all good.
When you have a car that wants to all of a sudden not go above 60 miles an hour on the interstate when you're trying to come home from New Orleans, it's not a good thing.
I'd be freaking out if that was me.
It sucked. It took a long time to get home. So as soon as I got home, I started researching used cars around the area, and I found one that I liked. So I went and looked at it yesterday, and here I am today with a car payment. So yay!
But you have reliable transportation.
Yes, I have a car that will not die on me tomorrow. So that's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't get to do what I said I wanted to do when I got rid of my old car. I wanted to light it on fire and drive it off the bridge, but I didn't get to do that. They actually gave me some money for it at the dealership.
Wow. That's surprising.
That was nice. That was nice of them.
Yeah. No Viking funeral for the car, unfortunately.
No Viking funeral for the car. They'll probably, throw some sawdust in the gas tank and sell it to some other schmuck that'll buy it.
Let's hope not.
Yeah. Well, how was your weekend?
What did I do this weekend? Shoot, I can't really remember. Oh, I had a photo shoot Sunday, so that took up a good chunk of the day. And then I feel like I did something on. I did play a decent chunk of Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door.
Oh, nice.
I kind of had a hankering to play it again, so did that for a good bit of Saturday. Mostly just doing prep for Samantha's movie, which is we're like 3 weeks away from shooting, which is pretty wild. Like we're pretty prepared, but it's just kind of crazy that it's like really close.
I know it's gonna be here before you know it.
Yeah, but it was a pretty good weekend. I can't really complain about that. The rest of the week's gonna be really slammed for me, but we don't really have any major plans over the weekend, which is nice.
Yeah, I think we're the same way. I think we're gonna, because we celebrated Angelina's birthday over the weekend, so I think this weekend's gonna be a little more downtime because I need it. I feel like an old man right now.
Gotta get some R&R.
Yeah. Chuck in the chat room, he said, "What's the brand?" I actually I had a Nissan Murano So I had to trade that in. I got a Chevy Sonic. So that's what I got yesterday. I think I might get me a little Sonic the Hedgehog sticker and put on the back of it.
You should. That'd be perfect.
I'll buy one when I go to Pensacon next year.
What's sad is that whenever you sent me the pictures of your car, that was the first thing I noticed. I clicked the picture of the back and I was like, oh, it's a Sonic.
Yeah, I have to put some. I should paint the tires red. Is what I should do.
Yeah, you should. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, I didn't really get a chance to play anything this weekend except for what I'm reviewing tonight. So that's all I got to do. I did download a new game off of Game Pass. I can't remember the name of it, but apparently it's a new horror survival game. And I'm going to check that out. But hopefully I get to play a little of that this week. And maybe some rest and relaxation because I need it. The last few days have been very tiring.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I've got tomorrow off of work, but it's not really an off day because we're going to look at several of the locations for Samantha's movie with Kevin Almodovar.
Yeah.
And then we've got a production meeting that night over Zoom. So it's going to be a busy day.
I always like location scouting. Location scouting's fun to me.
Yeah.
So hopefully if I ever get to make another movie, hopefully I'll get to actually do that again here someday soon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Chuck, the oil rig survival game. I can't remember the name of it. It's called like Still Runs the Deep or something like that. It's a new game. It just dropped. So I watched the trailer. It looked pretty good. So I'm going to try it out.
Sounds philosophical from the title.
Yeah, it's something like that. It's something runs in the deep or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was.
Not rolling in the deep?
No, not rolling in the deep. It's the new Adele game, everybody.
Yeah.
The new Adele video game.
If she put her name on a video game, I guarantee you it would sell.
Absolutely. But anything else before we get into the news this evening?
Nope, I think that's it.
Because, of course, all the big news happened last week after we recorded the episode, so here we go. Yeah. Whoa, I'm playing the wrong one. Hold on. Where is news? Here we go. I'm playing it. Here we go. Wrong button, everybody. Wrong button. All of tonight's stories were submitted to us by Armez Jackson and Donner Party of 5. And if you have a news story you'd like us to cover, send them to nerdcaveretro@gmail.com. And the first one is from mynintendonews.com. The Switch lifetime unit sales trail the PS2 by 1.41 million as of May. The sun is setting on the life of the Nintendo Switch. Nevertheless, the console still selling rather well. It is looking all but inevitable now that the Switch is going to surpass the sales of the PlayStation 2. Matt Piscatella, analyst for Circana, which was formerly the NPD Group, confirmed on Twitter not that long ago that the Nintendo Switch was trailing PS2 sales in the sales in the United States by 1,410,000 units as of May 4th, 2024. So it might have surpassed it since then.
I hope it does. Like, I have no doubt that it's going to, but how crazy would that be?
I'm sure it will. I mean, it's been 2 months, and that's really kind of nothing to do 1.4 million in sales.
Think about this. We've talked about the longevity of the PS2 and how great of a console that was.
Mm-hmm.
With the Switch, a lot of us looked at it, myself included, as Nintendo's last shot at making a successful console before I wrote them off.
Yeah.
And now look where they are. It's insane.
7 years later, it doesn't have the actual total of units sold here, but it is insane how many Switches have been sold. And I mean, we still have at least another 6 to 9 months before whatever the follow-up is, the Switch 2 or the Super Switch, whatever they're going to call it. We still have anywhere from 6 months to a year before that thing comes out. So you've got another year of sales. And we've got, in our next story, one of the biggest games we've been waiting for, which we said last week on Monday, watch us get a trailer for Metroid. Sure enough, the next day, on Tuesday, we get a trailer.
I will say this real quick. So I looked this up. As of March 2024, Nintendo has shipped over 141 million Switch units worldwide.
God, that's a lot.
And it's for the fiscal year ending March 31st, 2025. It expects to sell an additional 13.5 million.
Jeez.
So, yeah, it's not a matter of if, it's when
Yeah.
it breaks the PS2's record. But as you mentioned, from IGN.com, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond gameplay finally revealed. After announcing it over 7 years ago, Nintendo has once again revealed Metroid Prime 4, including a first look at gameplay, which you can check out below. Announced at the June 2024 Nintendo Direct, the trailer shows a myriad gameplay clips alongside a handful of the horrible alien beasties Samus must fight in the long-awaited game, which launches in 2025. Alongside the first look at the gameplay, Nintendo revealed that Metroid Prime 4 is now called Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. The new logo features purple and black hues, a stark contrast to the original logo, which was black, with the number 4 having a blue flame-like outline. It was first announced during its E3. That should date it
Yeah.
all in itself by saying E3. 2017 presentation with Bandai Namco Studios taking the lead, which, of course, it restarted with Retro Studios in
Yeah.
2019. So what'd you think? I know this is something that you've been looking forward to for a long time, and we finally got it. So
It's exciting. It looks great.
yeah, and I remember when the first Metroid Prime came out, how there was a pretty decent amount of backlash with it being a first-person shooter.
Yeah.
I kind of like it that way, though.
Yeah.
Like, I still love the classic Metroids, like Super Metroid, and you could even throw in Metroid Fusion in there. But I think it works. They've
Yeah.
made it work as a first-person shooter. So I'm really, really looking forward to this. I'm glad that it is coming out on the Switch. It may be the last big game we get for the Switch.
I have a feeling this is the game that's going to be the goodbye for the Switch, but also the launch game for the new system as well. Sort of like
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild was with the Wii U.
Twilight Princess was that way with the Wii
Yeah.
and the GameCube.
Yeah, so I think this is going to be the last. I'm almost 100% positive this is the last big hurrah for the Nintendo Switch.
And I think it's a great game to go out on. People have been looking forward to it for 7 years. So
Yeah.
I'm glad we're finally getting it. But yeah, it looks really, really good. I'm excited for it.
And from IGN.com, this is everything announced from the Nintendo Direct, which came out last week. And I just figured we'd do a little rundown of the things that were unveiled on the Nintendo Direct. And the first one, I really want to get your thoughts on this one. Which one of the first things they showed was The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. Was announced with Zelda now as the protagonist.
Yeah, so all you trolls out there that like to say, oh, well, don't you play as Zelda? You finally get to with Echoes of Wisdom. I mean, it looks all right. I like that they're going with the remastered Link's Awakening style. I think that's perfect for what they're going to do. And I really like that art style anyway. The gameplay is interesting because you use this thing called the Tri-Rod to create echoes or basically copies of different items or like pieces of furniture or whatever you need to advance to where you're going. I'll play it. I mean, I'm not going to come up here and say that I'm not. It's a Zelda game, so I'm obviously going to check it out. I think it looks interesting. I'm not going to say that I have very high expectations for it, but it is something different. And I think the fact that you finally get to play as Zelda is pretty cool.
Yeah, and I like that it is in the Link's Awakening engine. It's kind of got that like plastic. Everything's kind of weird, like plasticky toy look to it. I like
The
that.
characters look like pop figures in a way.
Yeah, they do, and it's an interesting mechanic to be able to copy things and solve the puzzles that way. So there's really no one way to solve a puzzle or get to certain places. It's just sort of I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain. Like like you can use whatever you can conjure up to get to places you need to go, and that seems interesting to me. And like it's we live in a world where we get stuff like Breath of the Wild and stuff like this, and I'm for it. I'm totally for it. I'm very much interested to play this.
I have been getting an itch to play like a classic top-down Zelda. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Breath
Yeah.
of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, but like Link to the Past is what made me fall in love with Zelda. And I would love if they made a game like in that same style.
They
I'd
could.
get it in a heartbeat.
Me too. If they redid Link to the Past in that game engine, I'd be. I'd. They would have my money already.
Oh, 100%.
And then, of course, we already talked about Metroid Prime 4. And what did you think about Mario and Luigi Brothership?
This was really surprising. I think the Mario and Luigi games are vastly underrated.
Mm-hmm.
I they kind of have the same problem that a lot of the Game Boy games did, and that they didn't get as much attention because of the system that they were on. All the Mario and Luigi games have been on the DS, but they're still really fun. They've got great humor. The gameplay is fun. You actually get to have like this true brotherly dynamic between Mario and Luigi because you have like combo moves that you can do with each other. It's I'm excited for it. I'll be curious to see how it translates to the Switch. I don't see any issue that it would have. I think the trailer looks fun. I'm really excited for it, and we're getting to the point now where those Mario and Luigi games are old enough to review on the show, which is
Um,
crazy.
so is this game? I've never played any of the Mario and Luigi games. So is this like a two-player couch co-op, or will this be like an online thing where you could play with another person? Like one person plays Mario, the other is Luigi.
I can't remember. I haven't watched the trailer since it first dropped, but with if I remember correctly, with the DS games, it was a single player RPG,
Oh
and
yeah,
you
because I
just
know.
like your
Yeah,
team is just Mario and Luigi.
because it does look like it has like all those different kind of game elements. Like you've got some of the RPG elements, like fighting stuff in there, but you also have platforming stuff in there, and you use the two, like you said, the combos and using the brothers together to kind of solve puzzles and things like that. So it looks really cool to me. I never got to play any of them.
And I'm glad that they kept the same art style too.
Yeah.
Like it's updated a little bit for the Switch, but as far as the way that the characters look, it's that same art style. So I'm happy about that.
And also, we got Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake coming in November, and Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D to follow in 2025. I wonder why they're putting the 3 out first and then 1 and 2 out afterwards.
It's their nod to Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Now
I,
try and say Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D 10 times fast.
so and maybe
I can't
Chuck
do it.
knows in the chat room. Isn't Dragon Quest 3 the Dragon Warrior 1 in the US? I don't. I know it's the Dragon Warrior games,
Right.
but I don't remember what was what.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I know little to nothing about Dragon Quest and Dragon Warrior, but I think it's cool that they're remaking them.
Yeah, they look cool. I might give them
Hmm.
a try at that when they
Yeah,
come out.
I
Here's
wouldn't mind it.
one I know you're excited for: Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, coming in January of 2025.
Well, we've both talked about how much we love the Donkey Kong Country games, and this was a great follow-up to those games, and I'm excited for more people to get to play it. Because I want to say the last one was Tropical Freeze. I could be wrong in that, but I know there have been multiple Donkey Kong Country Returns games.
Mm.
The only one I played was this one, but I loved it. The graphics were great. One of the coolest levels that you can do in that game. You're in the jungle and it's sunset. So all you see is the silhouette of the characters, and you have like Donkey Kong's tie glowing like that bright red, and same thing with Diddy's hat, and the background's is like yellow orange kind of sunset type color. I can't wait to see that in HD.
Yeah, I know. The trailer looked awesome. Like as soon as I saw it, I was like, man, I want to play that now.
Oh, it's fun.
And
I can't wait to play it.
Chuck in the chat said Dragon Quest 1 is Dragon Warrior 1.
Okay. That makes
Let's
sense.
see. Super Mario Party Jamboree. Are you big into the Super Mario Party games?
I went through a phase where I played the Mario Party games, but I didn't play them that often because I'm an only child, so I didn't have siblings to to play it with.
Yeah.
And those party games aren't as fun playing by yourself. So, um, I think it's cool that they're still doing them. I probably won't pick this one up, but I'm glad for those that like the Mario Party games.
Yeah, I'm not real big into the Mario Party stuff, so I don't think I'll be playing that one. But what I
Yeah.
might be playing, the Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics is bringing 7 beloved games to the Switch. We have X-Men, Children of the Atom, Marvel Superheroes, X-Men versus Street Fighter. Let's see, what's that? Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter. Marvel versus Capcom. Clash of Superheroes, Marvel versus Capcom 2, and The Punisher.
This outside of probably Metroid, this might be the one that I'm excited about the most.
Yeah.
I love Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I've played that for so many hours with friends, and I'm excited to play all the other ones too. I'm not as familiar with them, but I mean, with a 7 game collection, you can't beat that.
Yeah, and I don't remember The Punisher at all. I remember the
I don't
Punisher
either.
NES game, but that was a shooter. And I didn't even know the Punisher had a side-scrolling beat-em-up game. So I'm definitely getting this when it comes out.
Time to punish some people.
Yeah. Let's see. They had Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past and Four Swords, Metroid Zero Mission, Perfect Dark, Turok Dinosaur Hunter have dropped on the Nintendo Switch Online. That was last week. I haven't played Zero Mission. I played the original Metroid, but I never played Zero Mission.
This is a good update for the Switch Online store. Zero Mission, I never beat it, but it is a good game. Perfect Dark, we've talked about.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic game. The Turok games I never really got into. I just remember the multiplayer game at the arcade with the big gun.
I
that you got to
loved
use.
the Turok games for the N64, but I'm scared to go back and play them because I know they're going to look like garbage.
Yeah. Whew.
They didn't look
And then-
that good back then.
No.
They're not going to look good now.
That'd be a good top 5 for us to do. Top 5 games that haven't aged well.
Yeah. I'm for that.
That might have to be a top 10.
Yeah, exactly.
And Link to the Past, I mean, it's Link to the Past. And Four Swords is a nice, if you have people to play with, that's where you have the sword that splits Link into multiple copies of himself.
Yeah.
It's a good multiplayer game to play.
And also coming soon, we have the Nintendo World Championship NES edition, which looks pretty good. I don't know if I'm going to drop money on that, though. I mean, it would be cool to have the NES cartridge just to have it as a souvenir. But there's not much to the NES Championship Edition actual game.
No, and that's kind of what I was thinking too. Like it would be cool to have the physical copy just as a cool display item. But yeah, the game list wasn't like it didn't really wow me, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
me neither. I mean, I would like to have it, but at like I think it's like $40. I'm like, that's maybe 25. If you charge me 25 to 30, I'd be okay. That seems a little
Yeah.
steep for what it is. I'm gonna scroll down a little bit. And what'd you think of Tales of the Shire, a Lord of the Rings game?
The animation kind of scares me a little bit. But I mean, when was the last time a good Lord of the Rings game came out? I haven't played a Lord of the Rings game since Battle for Middle Earth 2.
Yeah, and this looks kind of reminds me of like it's basically Animal Crossing, but you're in the Shire,
Yeah.
is what it is. It looks cool. I'm just kind of like, I wonder if this game's gonna get pretty boring after about half an hour.
It's also the type of game that I know I would be addicted to,
Yeah.
so I probably won't play it. That's why I won't play Animal Crossing.
I got suckered into Animal Crossing for a while.
And I always enjoyed hearing your turnip lady updates.
Oh yeah, man, I haven't thought about that in a while.
We haven't talked about it in a
I
while.
know. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD is coming. Also, it's going to be released on the 27th, which is this Thursday, 2 days from now.
Thursday.
What did you think?
I'm gonna be
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't remember much about Luigi's Mansion 2.
Yeah, I don't even think I played it. I played the first
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, the first one was actually fun. I mean, it's a very short game,
Yeah.
but I really liked it. Um, I might check it out down the line. This isn't going to be one that I'm like running to the store to get. But I might play it like during Christmas break or something.
Yeah. Here's one I really want to ask you about. I'd love to ask Wally about this, but the Funko Fusion game with all the Funko Pop characters, with all the different licenses, I'm kind of interested in what this game is.
Yeah, me too. I mean, you get over 60 characters. You've got Jurassic World, Back to the Future, Shaun of the Dead. You could have stopped at those three
Yeah.
and I would be in.
You've got He-Man, Chucky, Battlestar Galactica. What else was in there? I can't even remember. There's
They should
so
have totally
much
had
going
the
on.
Office character since they had Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, for real. Like you're running around as like Dwight. That'd be awesome.
Just going around bears, beats.
I mean,
Battlestar
it
Galactica.
showed some gameplay, but it didn't really tell you like what the game is. Like, what are you doing in the game? Like, what is the point of the game?
It looks like one of those games that there's just so many known properties that you can't help but be intrigued
Yeah.
because they got the license for all of these different IPs. It
It's
looks interesting.
It's
I'll say
interesting.
that.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep an eye on
Yeah.
it. Metal
Yeah.
Slug Attack Reloaded dropped onto the Switch store. Yeah, that looked pretty good. What do you think of Looney Tunes Wacky World of Sports?
I mean, I'm glad the Looney Tunes are still getting recognition. I don't know that I'll play it,
Yeah,
but good for the Looney Tunes though.
I'm like I love the Looney Tunes, but when I saw the trailer, I was like, who is this game for? Because
Yeah,
I don't see any of us wanting to play this game, and I don't think there's any kids are going to want to play it because no kids know who the Looney Tunes are anymore.
there's a very simple Looney Tunes game that they could do, and I would buy it in a heartbeat. Wile E. Coyote versus the Roadrunner.
Yeah.
You can play as either one. If you're Wile E. Coyote, you try to catch the Roadrunner. If you're the Roadrunner, you try to screw up all of Wile E. Coyote's traps.
Yeah, you could go through the game and collect money somehow, and you just order stuff from Acme if you play the Coyote, and you have to
Hmm.
collect coins, and then you order weird contraptions from Acme to see if you can catch the Roadrunner.
Those were like I like the Looney Tunes. I was never like a diehard fan, but whenever the Roadrunner was on, I would always sit and watch. Like those were by far my favorite Looney Tunes cartoons.
Yeah, I love Looney Tunes, but I don't know who this game's for. I don't think it's gonna do that well.
Mm-mm.
And then there's a bunch of other stuff that they announced. The weirdest one was I'm looking at here. It's called Denpa Men. Did you see the trailer for this one?
Denpamin, where was that? I
It,
don't think I saw that one.
I'm like, who is this game for? It looks so weird.
Oh, the trailer's only 30 seconds. I'll watch it real quick.
You're gonna watch it and you're gonna be like, what the hell am I watching? And who is this for?
The name intrigues me. A free-to-play RPG where you must scour radio waves for small creatures. Interesting.
Okay.
Okay, let's see.
And Jade Nispel in the chat room did point out that they did make a Coyote versus Roadrunner game for the SNES.
Oh, I'll have to track that
It's
down.
not good. Don't
Oh,
even. Well,
then
you can review it, but I'm telling you right now, it's going to be one of the bad games you have to review.
I feel like I'm on a streak of bad games.
Yeah, you need a good one in there somewhere.
Yeah, I need to play a good game. Yeah, this is it kind of reminds me of Animal Crossing on acid.
Yeah, it's like got a weird Teletubbies vibe to it.
Yeah, Teletubbies meets Animal Crossing.
Yeah, I'm like
I I
I
don't know
don't.
if I like that. I'm kind of scared now.
Teddy Belcher in the chat room said Death Valley Race is good. I remember. Let me look that up real quick. Death Valley Race. That was on the SNES, wasn't it? Death Valley
I think so.
Race. As was it the Super Nintendo? Yeah, it was Roadrunner's Death Rally. Roadrunner's Death Valley Rally is what it was called.
Another thing you can try to say 5 times
Yeah,
fast.
it's if this is the same one I'm thinking of, it's not that great. So save it for whenever you're due to have a bad game.
Hopefully, it doesn't skew my
Was it this
my
one?
fandom of the Roadrunner.
Let me look up and see if the Coyote versus Roadrunner SNES. Let me see if these are two different games that I'm thinking of. Yeah, I guess it is the same game. Roadrunner's Death Valley Rally came out in 1992. Did it come out for the Genesis too? No, for
I don't
the
know.
Genesis, it's called Desert Demolition.
That's a
Never heard
cooler
of it.
name. Ah,
But
the more you know.
well, that's going to be coming soon to a review near
Not
you.
not next week, but at some point down the line, I'll review it.
But that's going to bring us to the end of the news for this week. And let's do some video game history, shall we? On June 19th of 1983, Cinematronics releases Advanced Microcomputer Systems Dragon's Lair, the third Laserdisc video game and the first in the American market. One of the hardest video games ever, and was cost like $1 to play back then, and that was a lot for a video game.
That is a lot for a video game. I love that Don Bluth is the director and the designer because you can see that this has his work all over it, from the poster to the gameplay. It's like you're watching a classic Don Bluth animated film.
I think he was trying to do a Dragon's Lair kind of revamp couple of years ago and did a page or a Kickstarter for it, I think, and I don't think it funded.
Hmm.
So that sucks.
Wasn't there talks for there to be a Dragon's Lair movie
I
with
think
Ryan
that's
Reynolds as Dirk the Daring?
I remember that, but I don't know whatever became of that.
Well, he's got Deadpool, so
Yeah,
he's good.
he's doing all right.
Yeah, I that movie comes out in like just under a month. I can't
Oh,
wait.
I can't wait.
It's gonna be so good. I had to throw this one in there. June 23rd of 1991, Sega releases Sonic the Hedgehog for the Sega Genesis, which later becomes the pack-in game and defining title for the console. It introduces the character who would go on to be Sega's mascot. Sega also releases a version of the game for the Master System and Game Gear. It's crazy to think that Sonic is 33 years old.
Yep.
Were you a little surprised that they didn't release a trailer for the new movie to coincide with the anniversary of Sonic?
I don't know what Sega's thinking. Like they have had so many missed opportunities with Sonic the Hedgehog over the last few years that I don't know what Sega's doing. They didn't I don't even think they put out a tweet or a post or anything. Like it's Sonic's birthday.
For the birthday they did, because I saw the
Okay.
official Sonic Twitter posted something.
Yeah, I didn't see
I don't know if
anything.
Sega did. I assume they did.
Huh.
Um, yeah, the trailer for Sonic 3 is supposed to be dropping next month, but I feel like they could have done at least a teaser for Sonic's birthday.
Chuck said
That's what I would have
Dragon's
done
Lair
anyway.
funded at 544%. It's not
Oh, but
blue.
it's not by Don Bluth though.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Huh. I don't
Well,
know if I
that's
trust that.
yeah. Anyway, happy belated birthday, Sonic.
Yeah. June 26th of 1992, LucasArts releases Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis for the Amiga, DOS, and Mac.
A lot of Indiana Jones talk the last few weeks
I'm
on the show, and I dig it.
I'm so ready for that new game. Like I haven't been this excited about a video game since the Resident Evil 2 remake. Like I am on pins and needles waiting for this game to come out.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
When it drops, don't y'all call me for like 3 days because I'm not answering I'm turning my phone off. I'm just doing nothing but playing Indiana Jones.
And to close us out for this month in video game history and for the month of June, on June 29th of 2000, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is released for the Dreamcast. Which, if you've never got to play it, you'll get to quite soon.
Yeah, I got it for the Dreamcast thanks to Mr. One, Mr. Joey Image at Joey Image YT.
And I will say Marvel vs. Capcom has the best menu selection theme of all time. Gonna take you for a ride.
Sing it. Sing the whole thing.
It's just that over and over.
Oh, that is? I don't remember it all that well. I thought there was actual lyrics to it.
There may be a full version, but I found a 10-minute loop of just that one lyric. I posted it in the Discord the other day whenever they made this announcement.
Okay, this is what I was thinking of. Chuck says the Dragon's Lair movie the movie by Bluth failed to fund, which is weird because he's the guy who made it. Like, why would that not fund?
I mean, he's one of the most iconic animators ever.
Yeah, I mean, Land
That's so
Before
strange to
Time, like Secret of Nim, all the 60s and 70s Disney stuff is Don Bluth.
One of my friends put this in our group chat, and then I shared it on Twitter. Kids these days don't know the trauma that we had to go through with our childhood movies.
They killed all the characters, killed their mothers right in front of them.
Littlefoot's mom in Land Before Time practically had her spine ripped out by a T-Rex.
They did not like us as children, did they?
No,
they
did not.
That's why we're messed up adults.
That's why we're all in therapy.
Before we go into the review tonight, Derek, would you like to do our Patreon shout-outs?
Sure. As always, we like to shout out our awesome patrons over at patreon.com/nerdcaveretro. We want to shout out Brian Piotrowski, Nick W., Eld the Zombie, Yup Fed, aka Knife, James, aka at Jimbo Jr. on our Discord, Raven, Danny House, Justin Mispel, John West, Daniel Salmon, Mr. B-Res Coffee himself, Mike Eveland, Tyler Watson, Xblade07, R. Mez Jackson, Carlos Longoria, aka I am Scooter McGee.
Scooter McGee.
Steph, it's catching on. Staff Sergeant Sketch, Gus and Penny, Matthew Salmon, Mr. Joey Image, and of course,
Mama Diamond.
Donna Diamond. Thank you all so much for your continued contributions and keeping the lights on for us here at the Nerd Cave Retro Podcast. For as little as $1 a month, I say this every week and it hasn't changed. For one simple dollar, that's like half the price of a bottle of soda at most of your convenience stores. Yeah, you get your own RSS feed with 0 ads. You just get to hear us talk continuously.
Yep.
Uninterrupted. For $1.
That's nothing. It's $1.
Nothing's that cheap in 2024.
Nothing.
I can promise you that.
We are, what do you call it when everything's going up higher? We are inflation free here on the Nerd Cave Retro. And since I had to get a new car, please, about 200 more of you join the Patreon at $1 a month to help out with my car payment.
That's so many RSS feeds.
Yeah.
But yeah, and you also get early access to our bonus episodes, which for the most part includes a commentary track for a TV show, an animated series, or a full-length movie. And later this week, we are finally going to sit down and watch Thunder in Paradise. And I'm trying to find a red and yellow do-rag to wear for it. I might paint in a Fu Manchu.
Yeah.
You won't see it, but you'll know it's there.
Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Yeah, that doesn't work for me, brother.
But
yeah,
it'll be so fun. I can't wait. I've been wanting to do this for months, and it's finally here.
You know what I think it's going to be? I think it's going to be controlled chaos.
Probably.
Is what it's going to be. But yeah, if you want to be a part of our awesome Patreon community, just head over to patreon.com/nerdcaveretro. And for new patrons, be sure to send us your social media info, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, so we can give you a proper shout out.
And tonight, I'm going to be talking about... Uninvited is originally a black and white horror themed point and click adventure game, and it was originally developed for the Macintosh by ICOM Simulations, released in 1986 by Mindscape as part of the Mac Venture series. The following year, a color version of the game was released for the Amiga and Atari ST, and in 1991 for the NES, and that's the one we're going to be talking about today. And some of the things that differ between the original and the NES version. In the original version, let's see, what was it? It was the sibling. Yeah, what it is in the NES version, you wake up as unseen character. Like it's like Shadowgate. It's a first person view of everything, and you've got all your inventory and stuff to the side. You have the little book that tells you the dialogue, what's going on. You read the things that are going on. So you're playing the character first person, and you're pointing and clicking and everything. But what happened is you wake up at the beginning of the game after a car crash, and apparently your sister is missing and has gone into this weird house that you crashed next to. In the original version, it was a younger brother. So I don't know why they changed it from younger brother to older sister. I don't know. No reason for it. It's just the way it is. And it's a lot like Shadowgate. It's point and click. You take things. You keep things in your inventory. You mix stuff together. You use things on other things. You get like Uh, you get lighters to start fires in the fireplaces, things like that. It's a point and click game, a lot like Shadowgate, but some of my notes here, it is not quite the same as Shadowgate. I really love Shadowgate. Shadowgate is moody. It sucks you into the game. It has a way of just kind of sucking you into it with the way the graphics look and the way you read what's happening and what's going on. It just has a way of bringing you into the game. This one, not so much. I didn't enjoy this one near as much as Shadowgate.
Well, and I watched some gameplay of it a day or two ago, and I'm not as well versed in the point and click games as you are, so they're all kind of a new experience to me. It reminded me a lot of, and I feel like this is kind of my go-to, but I really felt that way. It felt like a game that I would have played in school
Yeah,
on my old computer because I, it took me a bit to really kind of get into it because you're essentially just like watching a screen and you're
yeah.
watching the dialogue unfold, and then you're like, oh, you select this out of your inventory, and then the screen changes to a different room.
Mhm.
So it was an interesting watch. I'll say, like, it wasn't awful, but it didn't really suck me in,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
This one, it felt, even though it's the same exact game engine as Shadowgate, and I don't know, maybe it's because I just enjoy Shadowgate so much more. This one just felt more tedious than Shadowgate did, and the going from having to, because you got your box down here that says things like use or open and things like that. That's just, par for the course with point and click games like this. But I always felt like I was always trying to do the wrong thing, like trying to go through a door before I opened it and then having to go and click open and then open the door. And maybe it's just because it's been a while since I've played a point and click game. It felt really cumbersome this time around. And I don't know if it's maybe because I just wasn't into the game as some of the others that I've played.
Well, it's one of those things that I think the gameplay kind of hurts it a little bit because we're so used to playing things like you've got your Zeldas or your Metroids or even like newer games like your Halos where there's like some kind of excitement going on. And I feel like with the point and click games, you really got to do a lot to kind of set the mood because you're essentially just reading along with a story
Yeah.
and you have a little bit of interaction with it. You really got to do a lot to like keep people engaged.
And that's what Shadowgate does so well. They're just, I don't know what it is about that game. Maybe it's just the music mixed with the graphics, kind of not really, I wouldn't say sparse, but definitely not as bright and colorful as this game was. This game just felt wrong. Like, it just
The
didn't.
red kind of hurt my eyes a little bit.
Yeah, when you play a game like Shadowgate, you want to get drawn into that dark and dingy world, and everything feels like you're in an old decaying mansion or castle or whatever, and it's fun to explore and like look for holes in the wall to like see what's hidden in different places. But this one was just so bright, and like the music was not moody at all. Like, it just didn't do anything to like try to create an atmosphere. It just felt like I was playing, it felt like a generic point and click game.
That happened to have a little bit of a horror skin to it.
Yeah,
But
but there
no,
wasn't
you're absolutely
much.
right. Like it's like with movies. You know, if you add in the right music, like that can make or break a
Hmm.
scene. Like if you have this dramatic, conversation between two people, but then you start playing the opening theme from Barnum and
Yeah.
Bailey, it's gonna take away from it. And that's the same thing. Like there was really no feel
Hmm.
with this game. That's why I think you hit the nail on the head that it just seems like, yeah, we're gonna say it's a horror type game, but it doesn't really feel like one.
it feels almost like they spent all their creative energy making Shadowgate, and then they're like, okay, that was successful. Let's have you guys bang out another one real quick. And they're just like, I got nothing left in the tank. So here's a generic point and click game, and we'll throw some weird looking little demons in there occasionally. Oh, and here's a ghost lady.
I think of that line in the first Iron Man whenever he's having Jarvis paint his armor, and he's like, "Oh, throw a little hot rod red in there."
Yeah.
That's what I feel like they did with this, because like I can't stress this enough. The red in watching this game made my eyes hurt.
Yeah. There's a lot of times in this game where I'm just like, I there are times in this game. I'm gonna admit I did finish this game, but I used a walkthrough, and it took roughly about an hour and 15 minutes to beat it with a walkthrough. And there's some stuff to do in this game I would have never figured out in a million years without some sort of strategy guide or a walkthrough, because I'm like, these aren't even puzzles. This is just making things difficult to be difficult and calling it a puzzle. Like, why would you do some of the stuff that you're supposed to do in this game without some sort of guide telling you to do it?
The more I think on it, and I hear you talk about this game, and then I think about the gameplay that I watched, it really does seem like it was just kind of thrown together.
I think it might have been. I mean, maybe I've never played the original version for the Amiga. Was the Amico or whatever it's called, the Amiga, back in the day. The original Macintosh. I've never played the
It
original.
looks
black
even
and white.
less exciting.
Yeah, with in black and white, I can't imagine how white bread this game is, because it doesn't have any personality. Shadowgate is dripping with personality in that game, from the music to the way it looks, the way it plays, and just the things you got to do in the game. And this one is just it. And I'm not saying this I don't want to bash it, because it's not a terrible game. It's not broken or anything. It's just, I don't know, it's just kind of boring.
What would you say some of the positives are?
Well, I would say the music is okay. It's not bad, but it would be better if it was in a different game. It's like they took the music from another game and it just didn't fit, and they were like, "All right, let's just use this." It was I did write in here, it's a fun nostalgic experience, but not something I'll play again. Shadowgate is something I can play over and over again, but this one I'll probably never go back to this again. The box art for the game is actually way cooler than the game itself. The box art looks great. Like, the box art is like, oh my God, what is this going to be? And then you play the game and it's like, you lied to me.
I feel like that there should be a subtitle with this game. It's called Uninvited, not Shadowgate.
Yeah.
It's what it should be called.
And I did write in here, the graphics aren't that great. It's kind of hard to see some of the stuff you're supposed to be seeing. Like, there's different, things you're supposed to click on around the room. Like, there would be something on the floor or something on the wall that you're supposed to click. And I just didn't even see it until it was pointed out to me in the walkthrough. I'm like, I would have never even seen that if it wasn't pointed out to me. So I don't know. It's just kind of, it was just hard to, like I said, if I didn't have a walkthrough, I wouldn't have made it 10 minutes into this game, because I wouldn't have known what to do anywhere.
Yeah, that's the thing about some of those classic games, is they just kind of throw you in, and you just got to figure it out.
Yeah.
And then you end up just using a walkthrough or a strategy guide.
Yep. And I don't even know if this had a strategy guide back then. I imagine some poor kid got this for Christmas or a birthday and just literally spent like months just clicking around the screen trying to figure out what to do.
He made the ultimate sacrifice so that other people wouldn't have to. I think he wrote the first walkthrough.
And that's the kid that wrote the walkthrough. Because if you look up a walkthrough for this game, and I think it, let me see, Uninvited NES, there we go. It's kind of snarky when you're reading it. Yeah, it's
Oh boy.
at gamefaqs.com. Just for a laugh, go read some of the stuff that was written in here. It's very, very snarky, the walkthrough for this game. I think you'll get a chuckle out of some of the stuff that was written in there.
Yeah, I'll have to go check that out. I used that website so much
Oh
back when
yeah,
I was in high school.
I use it
Helped me
now.
get through Ocarina of Time.
How do you think I
I
get
haven't
through
looked at it
most
in
of these
years.
games we play?
Yeah, it's true. I haven't looked at that site in years.
It's still there, and it's pretty snarky. So go check out the Uninvited Game FAQ. It's pretty funny. And I don't really have much more to say about it, other than I say give it a try. It might be your cup of tea, but there are other games in this genre that are way better. And of course, one of them is Shadowgate. The other one is Maniac Mansion, and those to me are much better games. If you're gonna play a point and click on the NES, those two are much better than Uninvited. And I know that I still need to play Deja Vu, which is the third game that was made by the company that made these games. I'm gonna play that someday soon because I've never played it, and I know it's not necessarily a horror game. It's more of a 1940s noir type detective story. So that's going to be interesting to try that one and see what that one's about.
So what would you give this game for a number score?
It's just going to sit right there in the middle, right at 5. It's not a bad game. It's just meh.
Right up there with Sonic 3D Blast.
Yep, it's just kind of right there in the middle. It just occupies that middle space. It's fun. It's fun to experience and play for a little bit, but I don't think I'll be playing this one again anytime soon.
We need to start talking about some good games.
Yeah, yeah. I think I'm gonna put up a poll on the Patreon to see what you guys want me to play next. I'll pick out 3 or 4 more games and let you guys pick.
Yeah, I think I'll do the same after my next review, which I'm going to be playing a game that we've talked about it on the show a few times. I'm finally going to break down and play it. King Arthur and the Knights of Justice for the Super Nintendo.
I think I'm gonna play some of this over the next week so I can be prepared.
I've like barely played it, so I don't even have enough to really form an opinion on it yet. But I'm excited. I know the reviews are very mixed, but I want to see what I think of it. And
Yeah,
we'll see
this is something we've been talking about for a while. Like it's just one of those games like
there's a cartoon also.
Yeah, I remember us talking about that. So after you do the game, we might have to do a commentary track on one of the episodes.
Well, let me just say this as a teaser. This is the story of the game. The player takes on the role of a team of American football players who are transported to medieval England and given the mission to save King Arthur and destroy the evil sorceress Morgana and her army.
What? As soon as you said American football players, I'm like, wait, what? That
They
makes
just plucked
no
a bunch
sense.
of people from they just plucked a bunch of random people from the NFL and said, "Hey, you guys are knights now."
So you're telling me that it's time traveling football players that are King Arthur's court or whatever?
Yes.
The Knights of Justice?
Yes.
Huh. Okay, then. Well,
This is either going to be fun or it's going to suck.
If they lean into the stupidity of that, this might be one of the best games we ever play.
Yeah. I hope they do, because if they do, it's going to be a lot of fun. Well, we'll find out next week.
Yeah, we'll find out soon enough. So if you guys want to do some pre-gaming on that, not King Arthur and the Knights of Justice.
If it sucks, I'm going to put up a poll, and I'm only going to put up like highly reviewed games for it. So I can't lose.
Yeah, exactly. But that's going to bring us to the end of the episode. So Derek, I know you had some stuff drop on the What's it called now? Again, I keep forgetting. Real
Oh, no
Wisdom.
worries. Real Wisdom.
Yeah.
The Real Wisdom. That's REEL, like a
I
film
keep
reel.
wanting to say feature presentation, and that won't get out of my
Oh,
head.
so get this, for the archived episode that I put out when I recorded the outro, I still said linktree.com/D Diamond podcast. So I had to go back and cut it.
Oh,
I'm like, that's a habit it's gonna die really hard because
that's
I've
going to
said
take
that for a
about
long time.
15,
But
20
no, I
episodes
put
to break.
out an episode. Who did I? Oh, Jeff Ballo, who is actor and screenwriter. I had a really good conversation with him back on the feature presentation podcast. So that's currently out, and this Thursday I'm going to re-release my conversation with Zach Hamilton, who was the visual effects producer for Star Trek Picard and Star
Ooh,
Trek Strange New Worlds.
nice. That's awesome.
I couldn't hear you.
Oh, hello.
I think his mic might have gone out.
Oh, no. Hello. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, no, I still can't hear you.
Oh, no. I don't know why you can't hear me.
Hang on.
That's weird.
It might be me, actually.
Check 1, 2, 3. Hello.
Stand by.
Okay. That's weird. Because I hear you. I don't know why you can't hear me.
Okay. I cannot hear you for some reason.
That's weird. Yeah, everybody says they hear us both.
Oh, he
so-
says we hear you both. But
Yeah.
For some reason I can't hear you. Just go ahead and do the outro.
Okay. All right. Well, go check me out at the Open Micers podcast. Last week, we talked with Mr. Mo Alexander for Juneteenth. That was one of the funniest episodes we've ever recorded, and I choked a couple times and almost died during the making of that episode. So go check that out, openmicers.com. And I'm going to go ahead and play our music. Oh, can you hear me now? Oh, awesome. Good. I was wondering what happened.
No, so what happened was, I have Bluetooth headphones and my phone started ringing. So it switched over to my phone.
Okay.
So I had to deactivate it from my phone. So sorry about that, everybody.
Damn Bluetooth, always messing everything up.
I know.
But yeah, that's going to bring us to the end here. I'm going to play our music. And if you want to email us at nerdcaveretro@gmail.com. Nerdcaveretro.com is our link tree. That takes you everywhere you need to go for all of our socials, our Patreon, and of course, our merch shop, which you can get to by going to ncrmerch.com. We have t-shirts, hats, stickers, magnets, bags, mugs, whatever your nerdy little heart desires. Of course, follow us on all social media at NerdCaveRetro, at JFunktastic, and at Derek_Diamond. If you can't throw us money on Patreon or anything, you're like, I'm broke, things are expensive, I get it. Go leave us a review wherever you can and leave us a 5-star rating on all podcasting platforms. So Derek, please tell them what it's all about.
May the way of the hero lead to the Triforce.
Yes.
Oh, a fellow chucker, eh?
And that was an episode.
Yeah.
So thank you all for hanging out with us here on YouTube. Smash that like and subscribe button. And join us here next week. Well, not same day. Next week is going to be the regular night on Monday. Same bat time.
July 1st.
Yeah. Ooh, is it July already? Good Lord.
Mm-hmm. Monday will be July 1st.
Wow.
And it's going to be even hotter.
Yeah. So join us right here at 6 p.m. Central on this YouTube channel. We love you guys, and we'll see you all next week.